TRACE 30 Plus Load Design 101. This is the first of a series of 4 videos to help guide you through the basic navigation of TRACE 30 Plus. In this training video, we will learn how to input load design information to perform a calculation with TRACE 30 Plus. In Load Design Part 1, we will start by defining the building and templates. Then, in Part 2, we will move on to define systems and briefly discuss plants. We will follow an example throughout this video, putting to practice what we learn. To follow along with the example, please visit our CDS website and save the 2 documents that will be used throughout this video. The background information for the example is listed in the document Load Design 101 Exercise Information. The Load Design 101 floor plan image will be imported and used to draw the building for the example. Please save this image in an easy-to-find folder. We will create an office building with a data center that utilizes 3 different airside systems. The airside systems include a VAV with reheat system for the offices, a single zone system for the lobby, and an underfloor air distribution system for the data center. Again, all of the example project information is listed in the document Load Design 101 Exercise Information. We'll start this Load Design 101 training by creating a new project and selecting a theme. To start a new project, we must go to the application dashboard of TRACE 30 Plus. We can then click the plus tile to start a new project. Once we click the plus tile, we can enter the project details and defaults. This is important as the project name, location, building owner, and comments will populate onto the output reports. The project name becomes the file name of the project as well. We can also add in an image of our site or building by selecting the icon in the lower right-hand corner of the project image area. This image will carry throughout to the project summary report. The project default section allows us to set the weather location, the simulation mode, and the building model default dimensions. Many of these building model defaults will not be editable elsewhere within the project, so we need to make sure they are correct now before proceeding. Additionally, anything changed in the project default section in the current project will remain as the new default when a new project is created. Let's get started with our example by entering the project defaults. To select the weather location, click the region drop-down, then select Canada. Next, change the sub-region to the province of Nova Scotia. Finally, choose Greenwood as the weather location. If needed, you will be able to change the weather location and design conditions in the building section of the program. Let's briefly discuss the project default building model information. The building model inputs can only be specified on this screen, and they will affect your entire building geometry. The floor-to-floor height is a building level property. It cannot vary from room to room. It will include underfloor plenum, raised floor, room height, ceiling material thickness, ceiling plenum, and the second floor slab or roof thickness. The ceiling elevation includes underfloor plenum, raised floor, and the room height. Top of floor elevation includes the underfloor plenum and raised floor. Essentially, it is where the room height starts. Window base elevation sets the default height for the windows when they are placed on the walls. Ground level numbering will determine if the first floor of our building is referred to as level 0 or 1. This is purely a naming convention and will not affect the calculations. Wall thickness will be applied to all the walls of the building when drawn. Please note that the wall thickness will be for both interior and exterior and cannot be changed anywhere within the program. Please note this only affects the thickness of the lines on the drawing canvas in Create Building. The actual thickness of the wall construction is defined in the construction library and can vary from wall to wall. Our example will use the parameters listed on the project information document. The Load Design 101 Exercise Information document gives us a floor-to-floor height of 12 feet, which we will enter here. Next, enter the ceiling elevation as 9 feet, the top of floor elevation as 0.5 feet, and the window base elevation as 2.66 feet. Finally, since our wall thickness is 7.5 inches, enter the value as 0.625 feet. After the building information is entered, we will click on the Select Theme button. But first, let's discuss what a theme is in TRACE 30 Plus. Themes are essentially building types with predefined template data including construction materials, space or room types, thermostat settings, and internal and airflow loads. These themes will simplify your input process and are used to assist with facilitating mass changes across a project. Themes also provide important default data when creating new rooms in the Create Building section of the program. Theme templates contain construction, room type, and zone types that reflect typical data for the building type selected, but they can be edited within the Theme section or within the Site and Building section of Trace. Trace 3D Plus has several themes including education, food service, healthcare, and many others. All of these templates can be customized, but it gives us a good starting point for our building. Since you cannot begin creating a building without first selecting a theme, let's choose one for example now by selecting the low-rise office theme. After selecting low-rise office as our theme, you will notice the list of templates available in that theme. General construction is used for construction across the entire building. Room types are templates for spaces such as an office space or a restroom, and zone types are templates for zones such as a specific thermal zone. Additionally, we have two choices for creating the project. We can either select Create Project, where we are taken directly to the Weather section in Site and Building, or we can hit Create Project and edit templates so we can change information within that theme. If you choose Create Project, you can always come back to edit your theme later on. In this case, we'll select Create Project and Edit Templates. Once the Create Project and Edit Templates button is clicked, the program creates the project and takes us to the Templates section, which allows users to edit the templates being used in the project. This will display all of the templates associated with this theme, as well as the name of the theme. Here, we can view properties of the building construction, room types, and zone types. Additionally, we can also add more templates or delete templates from the project. To add more templates, click the plus button on the top of each template section. If you click the plus button for room types, you can select from a list of templates available from the library. If you hover over these templates, you can then edit, delete, or copy them. If you click Copy, it creates an identical template with a different name below it. If you click Delete, it will remove the template. However, there can be only one building construction in the project, so you will not be able to delete this from the list. In addition, you can also select which room type will be the default. When a room is drawn, that room will automatically be given the room type template that is selected as the default. For our example, let's make sure the enclosed office is selected as the default room type. Room types can be expanded to view the construction, internal loads, and airflow templates assigned to them. You can change the assignment from the drop-down list. If you hover over these sub-templates, you can only copy and edit them. The construction sub-template for a particular room can be changed from the general building construction, so the entire building doesn't have to use the same construction. Simply select another construction type from the library using the drop-down. To edit templates, click the Properties pencil icon next to one of the sub-templates. For example, click the Expander icon next to the low-rise office room type and click the Properties icon next to the Airflow sub-template. You can now view any associated details about this sub-template. You'll notice the background color of the properties is red, which signifies you are in a template section. Zone types are templates used to define zone properties such as cooling and heating setpoint temperatures, drift points, and thermostat schedules. Much like room types, if we click on the Properties button next to the zone type, we can view and edit the zone type properties. Once we're finished adding, deleting, or modifying templates, we can move on to the Site and Building section to set up our building geometry. Let's first look at the weather properties within the Site and Building tab. As mentioned earlier, the weather location will default to the last location that you selected, as shown in the New Project Default section. The Weather tab in the Site and Building section will allow you to view or modify the design conditions of the selected location, as well as view other locations in the map or the tree. The selected location will show on the top of the tree, and the map will be zoomed in to the specific location marked with a star. Locations can be found on the map by zooming in or out with the mouse scroll, or by using the search or filter tools in the tree to the left. If we click on any location, the weather properties will automatically be displayed. To change the location, click on the Replace Weather Location button, which will cause this location to become the new project location. Note that we can select different weather locations for different alternatives by using the Alternatives drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. For our example, since we have already selected the desired location of Greenwood, let's just take a look at the design properties. To view the design properties, click the Properties pencil icon next to the selected weather location. Here we can see our design weather information. You will notice that it defaults to ASHRAE 1% for cooling design and ASHRAE 99.6% for heating design. We will now proceed to the Create Building tab to draw our building. When you click on the Create Building tab, notice the three options that show: GBXML Import, Draw Building, and Building Wizard. For this example, we will only show how to use the Draw Building option. In Trace 3D Plus, we are able to import floor plan images to make drawing the building easier. The type of files that can be imported are PNG, PDF, and JPEG. For the example that we are following, click on the Floor Plan Image tools to reveal the tools required to load and manipulate floor plan images. Click on the Load Image tool to import the floor plan image called Load Design 101 Floor Plan. Upon selecting the image file, you will need to click a location on the image that will be lined up with the origin. If you'd like to relocate the picture's origin, simply use the Origin tool and click a spot on the image where you'd like the origin to be. It is recommended to select a point that is common to multiple floors if such a point exists on the building. This way, if the building has multiple floors, the floors can be aligned easily. We will use the lower left corner of Office 102 to align with our origin. To pan around the drawing canvas, there are several tools available using the mouse and keyboard. Right-click on the mouse and hold the button down to pan across the drawing surface. Scroll in to zoom in, scroll out to zoom out. If you prefer to use the keyboard, the W and S keys will pan up and down respectively. The A and D keys will pan to the left and right respectively. Use the mouse to move the image to the center of the screen and zoom in enough to see the complete west-facing wall. Next, select the Scale Image tool and draw a line from the origin to the center of the north wall of Office 105 along the y-axis. Enter the actual dimension for that wall, in this case 85 feet, and select Apply. It is very important that the floor plan is scaled properly. Otherwise, the rooms will not have the correct dimensions when they are drawn. We recommend using one of the largest dimensions to scale images. In other words, use one of the building's sides, not a doorway or a small wall. If the image needs to be rotated, this can be done using the Rotate tool. Now that the image is scaled, we can start tracing over it. To draw a building, you will need to open the Drawing Tools toolbar. Let's look at the functionality of some of the tools in this toolbar. The Rectangle Drawing tool will create rectangular rooms by clicking where the first corner of the room will be and clicking again to place the corner diagonal to the first. The Polyline Drawing tool allows you to draw rooms one wall at a time with a single click to start a wall and a second click to terminate it. This tool can be used to draw a complex room shape, to divide an existing space into two rooms, or to close off a room. Length and width values can be entered when using the drawing tools. Using these fields will create rooms or walls with preset dimensions. It is important to note that these fields represent the inside room dimensions. The drop ceiling checkbox will allow the addition of an overhead plenum to the room. Ceiling height is set by the ceiling elevation field, which was entered in the project default section when we created the project. Clicking the raised floor checkbox adds an underfloor plenum, and the raised floor height is set by the top of floor field. Be sure to note that you need to check these boxes prior to creating the room in order for that room to have an underfloor or ceiling plenum. The room height field displays the current room height and it is not an editable field as it was previously defined. The same is true for the floor-to-floor height field. Let's continue with our example. We are starting our building at level 0. Starting with Office 102 located at the origin, draw each room with the rectangle drawing tool. When tracing these rooms, it is advised to go from center of wall to center of wall. The program defaults to have snap to wall projections on, which will make it easier to have the walls of the rooms all aligned. To view other snap settings, click the snap settings icon in the lower right hand corner of the drawing canvas. After all of the rooms are drawn, we will use the polyline tool to close the last wall, which will create a room as well. When rooms are created, the program creates a floor and a roof automatically for each room. The roof that is created will be flat by default. In order to see the roof, we need to select it in the Building Visibility section in the lower right-hand corner next to the Grid Settings and Snap Settings. As we go about drawing the room, make sure to name them appropriately in the building tree on the left. Simply highlight the room, right-click, and choose Rename. Now, let's see how to add doors and windows to the building. Clicking the Door Tools icon will display the 4 types of doors that can be used in the building: single, double, roll-up, and sliding. You can also select the size of the door and place it on the walls according to our example drawing. To add a door, select the door type, set the desired size, and click the desired location on the wall to place it. The cursor will have a red symbol anywhere the door cannot be placed. Once you hover over a valid location for the door, then you will see the cursor return to normal. The Theme Construction button allows us to switch to a different door library member instead of the one selected in the construction theme. Once the new library member has been selected from the list that appears on the left, click the right arrow button to select the desired door. To delete a specific door placed on the drawing, we need to select it from the left tree and press the Trash Can button. The Size drop-down shows typical door sizes that can be selected. The plus button next to the size changes the drop-down to dimensions of height and width. For simplicity, we will only be adding the exterior door on the lobby for our example. Feel free to add the rest of the doors on your own. The floor plan shows a double door on the lobby that is 10 feet wide. The 10-foot wide door is not a standard size, so we will need to key in 120 by 96 and add the door to the lobby. Window creation works in a similar fashion as door creation. We can place a single window, an array of windows, or a band window, which is a percentage of the wall. We can select different libraries and sizes of windows as well. Don't forget to verify that the elevation of the window is correct. This field sets the height from the floor to the bottom of the window and was set when creating the project via the project defaults. However, it may vary for some rooms, so this field allows for on-the-fly changes. For a single window, we can select common window sizes from the drop-down menu. The plus sign allows the addition of custom sizes similar to what was mentioned with the custom door sizes. For an array of windows, remember to specify the quantity and spacing between the windows. For band windows, specify the percentage of wall that the window will occupy. Once the properties for the windows are defined, they can be placed on the building. Following our exercise, place band windows of 30% of wall area on all exterior walls except for the data center and the restrooms. Notice how the lobby door splits the wall, so we need to add a window on each side of the door. Levels can be added above or below the original level by simply clicking the plus sign on either side of the current level indicator. You can then switch between levels by clicking on the number of the desired level. Levels of the building can also be reordered or deleted from this control. Notice in the left tree that all of the building elements are displayed per room. Any of these elements can be selected and edited by clicking the Edit button next to the element or using the Properties menu at the bottom to view properties specific to that element. Now that we have finished tracing over the plan drawing, we can view the building in 3D by clicking the 3D button towards the bottom left corner of the screen. There are 3 viewing modes for the building: 2D plan, which is what we've looked at so far, 3D level, and 3D building. The 3D level view shows the traced building with its measurements and elements in 3D. It can only show one floor at a time. The full building 3D view shows the complete building with surface types. You can move around the building using either the mouse or the keyboard as shown earlier. Now we will assign room types and create zones. All rooms will be assigned to the default room type as mentioned when we discussed themes. To assign the rooms to a room type other than the default, select the Room Type tab located on top of the tree. The room type list is pre-populated from the chosen theme, but we can always add new ones. As a reminder, room types include information for construction, internal loads, and airflow loads. Select the room type from the tree and click the Add button on the list of rooms to add the desired room or rooms to the selected room type. This can also be done by clicking the Room Manager button. Continuing with our example, select the low-rise office, enclosed office, and assign all rooms to that room type except for the conference room, restrooms, lobby, data center, and corridor, which should each be assigned to conference, general restroom, office lobby, IT server room, and hallway corridor room types, respectively. Once all rooms are assigned room types, thermal zones can be created on the Create Zones tab. In this section of Trace 3D Plus, we will zone our rooms. This creates zones in which you can group thermally similar rooms together. Additionally, if multiple spaces share a terminal box or zone level equipment, they should be zoned together. On the left menu, we can see the unassigned rooms as well as a default zone. With the zone selected, the available rooms have a plus icon in order to be added to the current zone. For example, I can group Office 101 and 102 together in Zone 1. Rooms can be added to this zone using the Zone Manager as well. Click on the Add Zone button to create more zones. To make each room its own zone, click the Auto Assign button. To clear the current zone assignments, click the Clear All button. Notice that each zone has a different color to make the zoning task easier. Zone colors can be changed in the tree if desired. The zone type can also be selected from the Create Zones tab. This functions the same as assigning room types. Although these templates are predefined, we can modify them by selecting a different library from the menu. If any rooms are unconditioned, there is a specific category in the tree called Unconditioned Spaces that these rooms can be assigned. Any rooms assigned here won't need to be assigned to a system later on. Continuing with our example, we will auto-zone all of the rooms and select Office for the zone type. The data center, however, has a different thermostat set point. To change this, we will select the data center zone properties and modify the set point to 70 for the cooling dry bulb temperature. We have now finished creating our building. Thanks for watching part 1 of our Getting Started video, Load Design 101. In part 2, you will learn how to select systems and plants and review the calculated results. If you have any questions not answered in this video series, please contact the CDS Support Center. Thanks again for watching, and we wish you continued success.